Hello everyone, welcome back to Wolfeei. Today we're going to be looking at something unique. Guys, I came up with a unique idea. I remixed every single MCC game that's currently in the roster, aside from Dodgebolt, because I forgot. But maybe I'll come up with a Dodgebolt remix at the end. But I remixed every regular MCC game, all like 15, 14, 16, however they are, many there are, all of them. New ones, even the ones that already had ones. We're going to go over them here. But before we get into this, I did a little poll. If you haven't given your answer on the poll yet, go to the poll and give your answer for which players you want to see most in MCC Season 5. Number 1 is Lifesteal, number 2 is higher skill event players, then it's Hermits, and then it's Variety, which is a little surprising, but also makes sense probably to an extent because this channel obviously represents mostly the event community, not just the MCC audience. So regardless, interesting results. Number 2. I've been posting shorts on my main channel. Go check those out. They're alright. Just check out the main channel. It's a channel that you don't really see when you look up Wolfeei, unfortunately. So I'm trying to put my efforts into reviving that channel properly and getting things more active and going. Number 3. Subscribe and like this channel. Subscribe and like the video. I never ask, just I'll see what happens. So thanks. Anyways, today we shall be looking at every single game, and I shall be talking about every single remix. Starting with Ace Race, which from my notes has never had a remix in MCC history, but I came up with 2 of them. One of them is you just remix it with any other event's race game for a crossover remix, put a race map in there, that's a remix. Put a, I don't know, PB Dragon Pit, which is the other remix idea I had, Mario Kart items, that's another remix. You put Rapid Racers, that's another remix. Put Runners Rampage, that's another remix. I'm just saying, that's a remix. I don't know what else you would really want to do for Ace Race. I thought about Relay Race, but that just means that 3 people have to spectate most of the game, which sucks. So that's the idea, is either Mario Kart items like PB Dragon Pit or just any other events map comes into Ace Race as a remix. That could be interesting, maybe. Number 2, or more so, next game, BattleBox has had one remix in the past, which I actually have pulled up here, which was Double Trouble. It was a remix that had 2 capture points from BattleBox and also had Trident exclusive PvP. And it was interesting. They have never revisited BattleBox for remixes, though I think this one was pretty interesting. I don't know if it was great, but it was alright. So yeah, that was already one that existed. I'm going to be super honest. The remix I picked for BattleBox is probably the most straightforward option you have. Just extraction. You make a map, or sorry, you make it crossbow only, and you make an MCC version of one of the Blockhorse maps. Probably Steam's the most iconic one. Hanami Temple is a pretty popular one, and you could also pick Bazaar. Those are probably the 3 ones people would want to see most. So one of those. You make it MCC-ified, you know, different texture pack, maybe slight changes to make it a little MCC difference, and that's it. You make it crossbow only. The middle point stays the same because it's still BattleBox, and that's your BattleBox remix. Next up, Mart, which has actually had 2 remixes. The first was Sands of Mart, which happened in MCC 24, which was an SOT map with blocks being provided around the map. I don't really remember much about this one. I think I watched this event. I don't recall in its extent, or in its full extent. I think just every tunnel had the block areas. It's just a different map for Mart, essentially. It's just in Sands of Time. The other remix, though, was Mart IRL, which happened in Twitch Rivals EU. I actually played this one, and it was alright. I liked it, but I also am biased because we did really good in it. But I came up with a new remix. One that actually some people might like. It's definitely a little different. A PvE remix. You kill mobs for currency to buy blocks from villagers instead of gathering the blocks. I think the gathering of blocks is a part of the game that people kind of don't love the most, if I had to guess. And this just removes gathering blocks by flying out, and instead you kill mobs for currency to use. You could also just give people infinite currency, but at that point it gets a little boring. So you have at least some interactive gameplay. Maybe you could do a different type of interactive gameplay that could gain you currency to buy the blocks. Or not, I don't know. But that's what I came up with. So these are also, I came up with all of these in the span of like half an hour. So we'll see how good they are. Well, they're never gonna happen, so who knows. Next up, Bingo But Fast. I came up with 2 ideas. Both of them are alright. One of them is just a Lockout Bingo throwback. MCC used to have a game called Lockout Bingo. This was like the first version of Bingo, I think, or maybe the second ever version of Bingo. They could just throw back that game into the mix, make it Lockout style. Wouldn't be the best, but wouldn't be the worst. Kind of is similar to what they have right now, but whatever. The other option would be Advancement Bingo, which just means Feinberg wins even more for free, because he already wins Bingo for free, and now he would win it even more. Unless they make custom advancements, but even then, debatable whether Feinberg would just sweep or not. It could be interesting, though. Advancement Bingo would be something. It would be something for sure. Next up is Grid Runners, which has had 1 remix. This was in Pride 22. They had the Mission Mix-Up, which I think was just a bunch of existing Grid Runners rooms, but they just changed the location of some of the puzzles, like clean the dial. This usually is like a zombie chicken jockey statue. City lamps is usually where you light the lamps, but now you shoot the targets, and then light the lamps is in the Minecraft, whatever, right? You get the point. They already had that. I came up with a remix that might be a little bit more than just a remix. Oh, hello, ad blocker. It's a bit more than a remix. I said 1v1 completing a room against every other team. The rooms would be a little bit shorter than usual, but you have 9 total rooms. Could be pretty fun. You essentially turn it into a not round robin, because it's not different rounds, kind of round robin-ish Grid Runners, but just very quick rounds to make it, a little bit quicker. Or maybe not, I don't know. But yeah, you make it round robin Grid Runners. I think that'd be kind of cool. Maybe, I don't know. could be interesting. Next up, though, is Hole in the Wall, which has had 2 remixes already. That's being the Pride 22 Spectator one, Spectator Payback, where spectators could throw mobs into the arena to sabotage the players who are still left in the games, which was like pigs, zombies, skeletons, guardians, and ravagers. This is like fine. I mean, nothing really too much to say about that one, because it's just mobs. We already kind of have this to an extent in the actual server version of Hole in the Wall, which thank God they haven't brought that in yet, because I don't think that would be a very good idea, but we'll see. And the other remix was the Hungry one, which debuted in, what's it called? Scuffed, or whatever it was called. Yeah, MCC Scuffed. But it also happened in MCC 30 because people liked it in Scuffed, and then they just put it in 30 because why not? It was meh. I don't think people liked it as much in a serious environment compared to the goofy one previously. However, I came up with another remix that's, again, maybe a little much. It's essentially Hole in the Wall, but it's vertical. Also could technically be like Doodle Jump-esque, but not really. The walls come from above, and the players must correctly jump through the holes in the walls that are coming from above, and then there's rising lava, so you're doodle jumping upwards while trying to go through the holes. It's not great. It's honestly not it wouldn't really work, but interesting conceptually at least. Maybe you would make it doodle jump where there's every wall that comes is based off of the platform I don't know, man. It would be a lot. But something. It's very different, at least. So, next up, though, we have Meltdown, which was actually pretty difficult for me to come up with an idea for, because Meltdown is kind of such a solidified concept. However, I had an idea. It's grenades. I tried to come up with a sentence, but I just said the word. Grenades. Instead of bows, you just throw grenades that freeze people in a certain block radius. And then you could maybe add more types of weapons like claymores that stick to walls, or maybe a drone where you could control a little mini RV car that explodes and does the same thing. Could be pretty fun, and maybe you would make it so people either auto freeze or you still keep the unfreeze thing from before. I don't know. Maybe the explosives would explode the unfreeze things. I don't know, man. But something. That's a remix. That's something. Parkour Tag up next has never had a remix, but I came up with one that is super simple. You just turn it into Chalice Chase, and I think all the PB players would be like, ooh, and everyone else would be like, huh? But Chalice Chase is honestly probably one of the better contenders for a potential crossover remix here. So that's Parkour Tag. Parkour Warrior already had the Parkour Warrior Survivor crossover in Ender Cup. which was all right. It could have been a little better. But I came up with another idea, which I don't know. It's definitely something. Only up. You parkour upwards. The higher you go, the harder it gets. And then maybe as like a somewhat of a failsafe, you add checkpoints at like major milestones to make it not the most frustrating game of all time. Because imagine going all the way up. It would be great content, but going all the way up, maybe in a scuffed, all the way up, and then you're, let's say, like on red. Let's say red's like almost the top difficulty. There's like a 4.5 block jump with momentum, but you screw up the momentum and you don't make the 4.5, and you fall all the way down to like green, which is one of the lower levels. You'd probably want to keep yourself safe after that one. So yeah, it would be something. But hey, scuffed would be pretty good I'm just saying, this would be kind of awesome content. It would be really funny, at least. So yeah, that's only up. That's one. You just parkour upwards. The only worry is it's again a shared map like before. Some of the lower skill parkour players might not really enjoy the game as much, especially when they get screwed over. So maybe you would add a thing where, similar to go down, it's your like peak height is considered for points, and then your current position is considered for points, or something along those lines. Whatever, right? Something like that. Peak height would be considered for points, maybe, and then yeah, one way to make it so you get rewarded for getting very far, even if you fall down a lot. But then you'd also should get punished a little bit for falling down. I don't know. Next up, Railroad Rush, which I honestly think this might be the most funny idea I've had, or at least the best. Something about this is great. It's never had a remix, of course, because the game has only been around for like a year. However, my remix is called Gambling. Instead of a gold rush, players get given a little bit of gold during the quote-unquote gold rush period, and you can take the risk at gambling the gold to either get more gold or lose it all. You can gamble as many times as you want to lose more. You can even maybe throw in some of your existing gold that you already have to lose even more. You need to make some adjustments probably to allow teams to gather more gold throughout the regular gameplay to not make them have to, go AFK if they lose everything at gambling. Because as much as that would be funny content, it wouldn't really be that fun to just not be able to play the game. So it needs to be something that, covers up for it. Maybe instead of gambling gold, you gamble a different currency that converts into gold. Maybe it's like an emerald or something that is worth 5 gold. Well, okay, that's the points. A diamond or something that's worth 10 gold per diamond, and you get like 5 diamonds to work with, and you gamble it. Something like that. Something that allows you to gamble. It'd be funny. it would be pretty funny. It might be against the EULA, but whatever. Who cares? Next up, Rocket Spleef Rush, which has never had a remix. 2 options. Simple first option is a throwback version. You remove the elytra durability and maybe change the maps a little bit to be more like OG Rocket Spleef. I think some people would like that, maybe as a one-off. The other remix idea is infinite ammo, where you just don't run out of ammo. You still have elytra durability, but you don't run out of ammo. The cooldown per shot would be a little higher, though, just to make it so you don't just spam the entire time. Would be something. Could work, maybe. All right, next up, SOT, which already had a remix, which was Sands of Pride in Pride 23. This one gave potion effects for certain blocks. As you can see, fire resistance, jump boost, speed, strength, slow falling, slowness, and weakness, speed and strength. It would be, this was low-key, sounds like it would be pretty interesting if they did it again at some point, maybe. But I understand what if they don't, it would be something. I came up with another remix. This one is quite a big one as well. But it's guaranteed to at least be something cool, because it's essentially a whole new game. Zombies, you turn, instead of sand, collecting sand and the time running out, you just turn the game into COD Zombies, which is still, how long can you go type of gameplay, and still could work in a dungeon crawler-esque environment. But it's COD Zombies. You unlock doors with the amount of currency or whatever you obtain. Maybe you collect sand from COD Zombies gameplay and use the sand to open doors, or something like that. I don't know. But that sounds like it'd be kind of cool. It's just a lot of work, but it would be really cool. Next up, Sky Battle. This one already had the Water Fight remix in MCC 33, which gave people water blasters. I don't think you can call them guns, but you got water blasters, hydro blasters. That is it. You're not allowed to call things guns in Minecraft. It's too violent. So water or hydro blasters to shoot water bubbles. I don't know. I came up with two things. Again, Skyblock will throwback. Kind of already happened in Scuffed, but I don't think Scuffed is considered for remixes because it's Scuffed. But Skyblock will throwback already kind of happened. Other option, another crossover, you turn it into Sky Zone to an extent. Okay, before you freak out because people don't like Sky Zone. Instead of having a border that closes in, the map decays from the outside to inwards, which I think is one of the better features from Sky Zone. And then maybe you could also add grappling hooks, which was also in Sky Zone, which is kind of cool. Could be pretty funny. You just make the maps the same as Sky Battle, the rest of the gameplay same as Sky Battle. So Sky Battle still is there. You just add the decay of the map from outwards to inwards, and maybe grappling hooks, where you can grapple either onto a block and pull yourself in, or you grapple a player and they come towards you. Would be funny. It's in Hoplite to an extent, I think. I could be wrong, but it would be funny. So I'm a fan. it would be kind of cool. Next up is SG Survival Games. The second to last game we're looking at. It already had a remix, which was Pride 22. Technically, if we're counting Party 2, the SG map should be considered a remix. If the hole in the wall in MCC 30 is considered a remix because it was in Scuffed, then the Party 2 one from SG should technically be considered a remix because the map difference thing was in Scuffed. I don't know if it counts, but either way, they had SG Army of Pets stuff in Pride 22. I honestly do not remember this being a thing, but it exists. So, yep. Anyways, I came up with this is the first thing I thought of, which is it's obvious. Fortnite. You turn SG into Fortnite. You draw from the battle chicken. You add building with blocks or maybe a custom building mechanics. The border location, the final circle is random. It's not just, the middle of the map. It's like a specific around the middle area of the map. And maybe you add custom weapons that maybe make things a little bit more spicy. I don't know. Would be cool though. And then finally, To Get Your Side has already had 2 remixes. Those being the stack one from Pride, which is the only remix that's consistently been used. And it also had the reverse version in Rising 3, which had the reverse version of maps, which is pretty funny. But I came up with a remix that I think everybody would love, which is based off of Captain Crunch, I think. Oops, all to Terra Soup Force. Oops, all to TSF, based off of Oops, all berries from the cereal. Oops, all Terra Swoop Force means every map is from Terra Swoop Force. All 6 of them. Is that even possible? Is there even 6 tunnels? There's tunnel 1, 2, 3 version, another one, and then they added another one, and there might be another one. Maybe, I don't know if there's 6. If there's not 6, make it 5. I don't know. But Terra Swoop Force everywhere. People would love that, I think, maybe. Anyways, that's every game remixed. Let me know your thoughts on which remix you think is the funniest, the best, or whatever. I might take notes because I kind of popped off here in some of these ideas, and I might take notes. Maybe if there's a Block vs. Chaos, you could see some of this happen again. I don't know. It would be funny. It would be funny. Dodgebolt. Let me think. Can I think of a Dodgebolt remix that would be funny? Maybe for Dodgebolt, the remix could be that you have a wall in front, in the middle, and you have to shoot people with lob shots somehow. But the arrows would be like invisible or something where it would be not that easy to dodge the lob shots. So maybe you get blinded. No, you probably wouldn't get blinded. But lob shots, Dodgebolt would be pretty hype, at least if somebody hit that. Otherwise, maybe Dodgebolt, but Meltdown, where you can unfreeze the people and they get frozen if they get shot, and you just have to freeze everybody. That probably would be a little much. Dodgebolt's already had so many remixes as well, so I don't think it needs another one. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.